Let's freaking go, man. The Jets secure their third win of the season, defeating the Atlanta Falcons 27-24. Look, we talked about it in the preview video, right? This was a winnable game. I think if you just look at purely the matchup, Atlanta coming in, they're a dome team. Last week, they played in a dome going up against the Saints, right? How would they do on the road, up in New Jersey, in the cold, late November here? I actually didn't know it was going to be that, rainy. I mean, it looked like everybody was soaked out there. I was not, expecting that. But regardless, the Falcons didn't have Drake London. They're starting Kirk Cousins. We know he's not the most mobile guy in the world. He has to win from the pocket. We're looking at Steve Wilks' defense. He likes to get his linebackers playing on their toes, getting in the backfield, trying to affect the quarterback, blitzing a lot. So I think kind of right off the bat, even though the Falcons were the Vegas favorite, -2.5, small line, but I think a lot of Jets fans kind of looked at this game like, hey, we can come in and steal a late season victory here. And that's exactly what happened, right? Despite all the mistakes, we're going to talk about it, coaching decisions, some play calls, some drops, some penalties, despite the weather, despite Jeff Ulbrich, kind of having some understanding of some of these Jets players on the roster, we dropped 27 points. 27 points in a win. Look, I give a lot of credit to the coaching staff, right? Not just specifically in this game, but I'm talking in the grand scheme of things, macro perspective, this team is not quitting. It is so easy. I mean, we see it year after year, right? Teams quit. They're 2-9, whatever. Yeah, there's no chance of making the playoffs. Let's just get out of here. We all saw the weather. Who really wants to be there? The Jets are fighting, scratching, clawing, playing very, very, very hard for Aaron Glenn. And I think it's just this mentality shift. It's the culture. I know it's the big buzzword with the Jets, but it's all about the culture. It's grit, it's toughness, just physicality, violent, be aggressive. We're street fight between the lines, in the words of Jeff Brom. We're going to beat you up. We're not going to lay down. We're not going to quit. And again, that's what we saw today, despite the amount of mistakes, despite the talent deficiency, despite the maybe timetable of experience between the two coaching staffs. Look, Raheem Morris I would say he's coaching for his job. I don't look at Raheem Morris right now with that roster saying to myself oh yeah, he's 1,000% safe and the Falcons are in great hands moving forward. I don't know. And he just lost another road game here at the time, coming into today, a 2-win Jets team. Again, throughout the course of the game, shot themselves in the foot, giving Atlanta multiple chances to really seize the moment, and they never really did. So again, I credit the Jets defense, I credit the Jets offense, I credit the Jets special teams, and quite frankly, that's who I'm giving the Jets game ball to, right? Chris Banjo has been absolutely electric. I mean, you look at what he's done with this special teams unit: return game, return coverage, punt game, punt coverage. Nick Folk has been awesome this season. Yeah, he missed a field goal in today's game, but he hit the freaking game winner. What was it, a 56-yarder plus a couple of extra points in this weather? I don't care that he missed that field goal. When you look at his full body of work, Nick Folk has been awesome. He has been flat out awesome. I would say he's a Pro Bowl kicker at this point in time. Then you look at Austin McNamara. Is he one of the best punters in football in year one as an undrafted free agent? I would say so. You have young guys that are flying down the field as gunners, again, in punt coverage. I mean, it has been great. You're looking at the starting field position for this Jets team and where they're pinning the opposition on their field, right, or on their side of the field, rather. I mean, the special teams unit for this squad has been great. Of course, early on in the season, you had a couple fumbles, but you can't really look at an Xavier Gibson fumble or when Williams had to screw up early on and just say oh, that's on coaching. At the end of the day, the players do have to execute, and from a coaching standpoint, Chris Banjo has put these guys in a position to have success over and over and over and over and over again. Awesome. Special teams today won the game. Williams with the returns, absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. I know this might sound it could be a stretch, but I would not be surprised if Chris Banjo actually gets a head coaching look this offseason. Not saying he's going to get the job, not saying he's going to be a finalist, but I would not be surprised if someone just brings him in for an interview. I mean, he's learned under Sean Payton. He's been around Mike Westhoff. Obviously, he's doing great things this season. Just hats off to special teams, right? And again, you look at the mistakes that this Jets team made. Multiple drops, multiple penalties. By the way, what was Aaron Glenn doing on the last freaking play, the last drive of the game? Just kicked the field goal. They bring their offense back out, no timeouts with 12 seconds left. I mean, could you imagine? And they get flagged, right? Membu jumping with the false start. I mean, you cannot go backwards in that situation. Imagine if Tyrod drops back and gets sacked, and now you have to rush your field goal kicker out to win the game in bad weather, trying to kick a 50-plus yarder. I mean, that is just with 12 seconds on the clock before the play even starts. What are we doing? Imagine if Tyrod Taylor completes a pass, the receiver can't get out of bounds. Right? Atlanta, they wrap up inside. The game's going to overtime. That would have just been an absolute nightmare. You could just picture it now. The beat reporters, everybody just shredding Aaron Glenn. What the hell are you doing? Just kick. What would it be? A 51-yarder. Just kick it right then and there. So I definitely disagree with that. And yes, you can push back and say like, okay, well, Glenn wants to take as much time off the clock so you don't risk a kick return. I get it. But look, you're a 2-win squad. Don't mess around. We've had multiple late game screw-ups. Denver, Pittsburgh, a couple others. Just kick the field goal. It worked out for the Jets in the end, of course, but definitely kind of a sketchy situation. When I saw the Jets line up and we got that flag, I'm like, we cannot go to overtime. We got to kick this thing. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So hopefully Glenn uses that as a learning moment moving forward and it doesn't happen again. But yeah, drops, penalties, kind of some questionable play calls. You always kind of feel like Tanner Engstrom when he tries to bring out like a creative play, like a trick play, reverse type of thing. It never works. But despite all that, right, Tyrod Taylor looked almost like a little gun shy today as well. And Vilma kept talking about it on the broadcast. I don't want to come down on Tyrod Taylor too hard because, again, we've seen Tyrod, or his turnovers rather, lose the Jets some games. We have seen that. We understand the weather. We understand no AVT, no Garrett Wilson, no Braylon Allen, right? Don't force it if you don't have to. It kind of felt like Tyrod was almost instructed pre-game or in the week leading up, like, hey, we have to play some pretty conservative football, right? Like we cannot be screwing it up. We cannot lose the turnover battle here. They already have more talent than us. It's I don't want to say Atlanta is completely done in the season. Those guys are fighting, but you cannot give a team like that extra opportunities, especially when you're a 2-win squad and you've had multiple late game screw ups, multiple games where it's just like, if we had 30 more passing yards, or if we didn't fumble that punt return, if we didn't, have that interception or whatever it may be, just kind of don't screw it up. So I don't want to, again, look at Tyrod Taylor and say, he was super, gun shy, was scared to make throws. I think it was almost like I cannot screw this game up, so I'm not even going to risk it. What happens if the ball slips off my fingers? What happens if the ball is too slick and it goes through the receiver's hands or something and it gets picked off? Just too many unknowns due to the weather. Just kind of keep it, play that just safe conservative football. You could argue that approach could cost the Jets games in the future, potentially next season. But hey, let's just look at this game in a vacuum here. The Jets secured a victory. Let's freaking go. Adonai Mitchell, man. My guy, AD Mitchell, bursting out onto the scene. Over 100 receiving yards with a touchdown. I mean, that's got to be the longest passing play of the season. His touchdown pass from Tyrod Taylor. He adjusted well to the ball. Tad bit underthrown, but he comes down with it, right? Mechie had a couple drops. Right, it kind of felt like Mechie's day was his breakout performance was last week, where he had the touchdown. Now we're coming back. He has a couple drops, but did have a couple ones late, a couple catches late. But Mitchell, man, player of the game for me, at least offensively. What a day for him. It's not easy, right? We all know Jeff Ulbrich. It's not easy. We all saw the weather. Going out and putting up over... today was Adonai Mitchell's best game of his entire career so far. That's what it's all about. Continue to feed the young guys. So, anyway, Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. The Jets have a ways to go. A lot of mistakes to clean up, but I mean, despite these mistakes, we are winning the freaking game. What happens next season when we have more talent, when we are more experienced, when guys aren't maybe as wide-eyed, right? When we have another draft class loaded into the roster, when we have a potential upgrade at the quarterback position, a full season under Tanner Engstrand's belt, are we really going to be making these same mistakes? I mean, I guess anything's possible, but I'm going to lean towards no. So anyway, let's freaking go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.